You've probably heard by now, plastic is basically impossible to biodegrade. The projected time for a plastic water bottle to completely decompose in a landfill is about 450 years. Given that plastic only began to be mass-produced after the Second World War and started rising in popularity in the 1960s and 1970s, we've got quite some time to wait on that singular water bottle. However, in the meantime, that plastic will continue to break down into smaller and smaller particles until it's smaller than 5 millimeters. At this point, the NOAA considers it a microplastic. But that's semantics. Oh, so plastics can get really small and are persistent. So what? What you need to know is that this has huge negative environmental effects, especially for our oceans and bodies of water. For example, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is the result of what is essentially a water vortex called the subtropical gyre, pulling all the trash from the Pacific Ocean into a huge patch of plastic and assorted garbage. The plastic already pose enough of a threat in their full form. You're probably aware of the stories of sea turtles mistaking plastic bags for jellyfish and other assorted impacts of our oceans being full of plastics. But when that plastic becomes tiny, it can get and spread everywhere, and become vastly more difficult to clean up. Fish are swimming in, eating, and breathing microplastics, resulting in bioaccumulation as these plastics seep toxins like PBTs into the tissues of fish. So not only is this pollutant bioaccumulating, but it's also biomagnifying as larger predatory fish eat 30 smaller fish whose stomachs and muscle tissue are full of microplastic toxins. This persistence, ability to spread everywhere, and the promise of more to come as long as there's still plastics, all the while having harmful effects on living tissue, result in what can best be described as an existential horror of an issue. Like other horrors of the modern day, some pretty funny memes have risen poking fun at the absurdity. Although taken to the extreme, the sentiment of these have their basis in reality. At this rate, humans will be eating, drinking, and breathing plastic. So what can we do? Unless someone comes up with a giant magnet that attracts plastic, holds it over our ocean, and shoots the mass plastic up into outer space, I'll get on that by the way, people are going to have to stop using as much plastic and recycling. This may not immediately make our world the Garden of Eden, but every little bit will help over time. Furthermore, you could join any of the many plastic cleanup operations. It's basic stuff, but I hope by now you understand the potential threat that microplastics in the environment pose, and I hope you'd aim to take preventative measures.